All right, well, thank you for tuning that dial to the Eek channel. My name is James, and today I am joined by my co-host,
Cody.
This is Eek Speak, the show that serves as your weekly horror house party where everybody wants to talk about scary movies. Before we get into anything, how's your day?
It was all right. It was a Monday.
Yeah.
So I tried to describe to my children. When I say my children, I mean my students. I have about 100 sixth graders, and they were all a little crazy today. And
Yeah.
I tried to describe to them how a full moon can affect that, but we're kind of past the full moon. Like the
Right.
full moon was technically Friday,
Mhm.
and I think, don't quote me on this, I think technically a full moon goes 2 nights.
That's what I said. And then a fellow teacher of your ilk
Yeah.
told me no, that
Oh.
it's technically waning at this point. And I'm like, well, it's not waning in any significant piece that you can see with the naked eye. That's for damn sure.
And I think those tides are doing something because my kids were a little cray today. But you know what? It's Monday. We're past it.
Well, you know what?
We made it through.
She was a first grade teacher. What's she know about astronomy?
Nothing. I mean, I don't want to say she doesn't know nothing about nothing, but I'm not buying it. So it was all right.
Yeah.
But we're past it.
Yeah, I had a Monday too.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Well, you know what's interesting? Doing the podcast, doing the show on Mondays, it almost like makes me look forward to Mondays.
Yeah. It makes me look forward to post Mondays.
Monday night.
Like, yeah. Like, I'm gonna power through this because I'm gonna get there.
Right.
I'm gonna make it.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's something worthwhile.
Yeah.
After all of this.
Yes.
So we typically have a little portion of the show here where I'm digging through messages to find a phone number, and you usually have something to fill with. Do you have a take? Any of the famous Cody hot takes?
Cody hot takes. So I don't have any hot takes right now. My hot take is my life is lame, and I don't have any free time. So I'm an avid just watcher. I would say
Sure.
like I've always been the guy to creatively find pockets in my life to watch movies or shows, anything. And like right now in my life, there are no pockets. I
Yeah.
have no free time to watch something. So like in my free time, my son goes to bed. It's me and my wife. She's not interested in any of my shows.
Right.
And so I really want to watch. Can I do a hot take that's going to be like, I haven't even started this show yet?
That's fine. I have a feeling I know what it is, and I think I've already seen it.
Oh, interesting. So my hot take is going to be, I really want to watch season 2 of I almost said Criminal Minds, and that's not
that
right.
one.
It's oh gosh, what am I?
Mindhunter.
Mindhunter. Thank you. And I'm already anticipating that it's not going to be any good. That's my anticipation. That's going to be my hot
Okay.
take. Just because season 1 was good, it got into the weeds. I think we're going to be out of the weeds. I think we're going to be trying to do big picture stuff. They're going to push too much of old big boy who is creepy, but how much can you take?
BTK.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like even near the end of season 1, like it was like, okay, I get what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Lost
Lost a little interest in this. Like,
Yeah, well, the thing about him is that he didn't. It's hard. I don't know how to say it.
yeah, I know what you're saying.
In the storyline of the show, but also
Yeah.
in the storyline of real life, he didn't get caught until like early 2000s or something like that.
Yeah,
They're not going to catch him in the show.
yeah,
The show's not going to run long enough
right,
for that to happen.
right. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's going to be the thing. They're going to try to capture that little bit of, I don't know if it's, I think it's like that, what is that chemical that releases in your brain? Like every time you like level
Dopamine?
up. Yeah. You level up in a video game, you watch another season, you binge watch something like,
Yeah.
and like, I think they're going to try to trigger that too much.
Mhm.
It's like, I'm eating chocolate cake every night for dinner. Like it's no longer special.
See, as someone who's seen season 2,
Okay.
I would say that maybe what you're prepared for isn't totally wrong,
Okay.
but the reasons why you're prepared for it are wrong. So you
Okay.
might still come out on top at the end.
It piques me interest. Piques my interest a little bit more then. Like, as long as it's not for that reason, like, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I'd be disappointed another way. It's fine.
All right, let's. Today we're gonna chat with the lo-fi horror guy
Oh, let's go.
on Instagram. This is a pretty cool dude. We've kind of just chatted on the Horrorgram fam for a while. If I can click on it with my fat fingers.
Lo-fi horror guy.
Yeah,
I like that. I'm not gonna steal it for myself. Well, yeah, I already has it.
you better not.
But,
Hello?
Hey, is this the lo-fi horror guy?
This is. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey,
You're
hey.
on with James, and I also have Cody here. Cody, say hello.
What's happening, lo-fi?
Very cool. What's going on, fellas? You can just call me Eric. That's fine.
Cool.
Not
We
a
can
big
do that.
deal at all.
Hey, man, we don't want to.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't want to breach any privacy that may be. I'm already gonna go off script this interview, so like, if I don't already know your name, I'll just play along until I hear you. So
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I mean, my page is kind of like discreet as far as any of that shit, but that's just kind of just having fun with it, honestly. So yeah, my name's Eric, though. Anyway.
Cool. Eric, well, yeah, it's awesome to have you on the show today. So, first of all, I just want to kind of give you a chance to maybe describe, I mean, kind of what your Instagram's all about. I mean, obviously, it's you are part of this like horror Instagram family that I have found a home in over the last few months.
Right.
So just kind of tell us about kind of what you've been doing on Instagram, how you started doing it, and kind of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, really, it for a little while I had like a personal account, social media mostly, for band stuff. I'm in a band too, and so like kind of paying attention to local shows and different things. And there was a specific page, a guy named Plutonian Shore. I don't know if you guys have seen his page or
no, I haven't.
by chance recognize, but he's got just super sick stuff. I followed him for quite a while, and like he has a huge collection. And I've always collected movies since like pretty much before middle school. And so, I saw like him having this page and showing off shit. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then it kind of came down to, I got a special edition of Crimson Peak that was just sick. Like it's the Arrow production of it or whatever.
Yep.
nice.
And, so, I was just like, holy shit, this is way too cool not to show off. And so I originally started on YouTube with videos and doing, that was my first video, was I was showing off the Crimson Peak collection there. And so, yeah, it just started from that. And then I ended up making an Instagram page and saw that, like, it reached a lot more people as far as doing, stacks and photos, and like there's this huge, like you said, family on there, which is just absolutely crazy to me. And yeah, I love it. Super, super cool. I'm very, very happy. I found you guys. I found lots of really sick pages.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it is awesome. Yeah, it's it's definitely been kind of a bit of a oasis, I guess, in the desert of shitty social media stuff. Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can second that for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, I know that you're a listener of the show, so a lot of the questions that are coming at you. But one of the ones that I love to talk about the most is your horror origin story. So, how did all this get started for you?
Okay. Yeah, I guess I can kind of break it down into little sections of, without it getting to be like this whole hour-long story. But basically, the first act, I guess I should say, is going to be, it's going to seem like it's like a fabricated story. 100% true, I promise you.
I'm so excited.
My brothers and my dad and everything. That's just absolutely wild. So we were on vacation. I was probably 6 years old. We were on vacation in Kentucky, and my brother was playing ball at the time in high school. And we went out to a baseball field, and my sister and I were actually out past, probably like 10 yards past the outer field fence, playing catch. And my brother and my dad were on the diamond, and my dad was pitching and my brother was hitting, and just kind of going back and forth. And so at one point, I remember I had on this helmet that I'd bought from like a local like minor league team that I just thought was the coolest thing, and I wanted to take it off. And so I take off the helmet, and I remember my sister and I stopped playing catch, and we were watching my brother hitting. And at one point he was right-handed, and he went to being left-handed, and he smacks the ball clear out of the field. And goes nowhere other than hitting me right square in the forehead.
Oh,
So
my
it gave me a
God.
concussion. So it ends up giving me a fucking concussion. So my dad is like, just thinks that he's going to get fucking murdered by my mom
Oh,
because
yeah.
obviously like her little boy is going to come home all messed up and everything. So I get back and she's just freaking the fuck out, like just trying to keep me awake. Cause like back in the day, they said with concussions, you had to stay awake, and maybe that's even how it is nowadays. But when you have a concussion, they say that you have to stay awake. And so they're trying to keep me up. And my grandma had all these VHSs and a bunch of movies, you know, up on the wall and everything. And so my mom was like, well, do you want to watch something? You know, is there something that you want to pick out? And so I kind of stumble over and I'm looking around, and she had Jaws. She had Jaws, and she had like Piranha. And so I was like, you know, I'm going to take my chances here and like slip in a quick one. And, you know, I'm like, can I watch Jaws? And I watched half of that movie and then ended up passing out. But that like created everything pretty much, you know, as far as my love for horror. And then I guess I can say like some years later, my oldest brother, he was babysitting me, and my parents were going out of town, and you know, we were talking about getting a movie or whatever, and he ended up renting Funhouse. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Yeah.
Toby Hooper directed it. It was like I think later 80s. But that movie, like the whole scene, not to be a spoiler, but the whole scene, like when the Frankenstein character gets his mask knocked off, scared the shit out of me, and I mean, forever stuck with me. So just little moments like that, you know, collectively over the years. I had a buddy of mine through, I met him in middle school, that we ended up, and he kind of introduced me to more of like the underground, you know, just different stuff that I hadn't heard of yet, you know, like outside of Halloween and Hellraisers and, you know, Child's Play and all that. Like we watched Evil Dead, and like the first time we saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I got sick. Like it absolutely like just turned my stomach. It was disgusting.
Dude,
so, and then like,
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go
ahead.
ahead.
Keep going.
No, go ahead.
Dude,
I was just going to say the only other thing I can remember too was like he introduced me to a series called Faces of Death. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. Absolutely disgusting. Like not my thing whatsoever. But you know, like him and like we would have over a bunch of buddies too, and like everybody thought it was so cool. And I'm just like, you know, I'd be the one sitting in the corner like, God damn, I don't want to watch anymore. You know, I'm all about gore, but then when it's like it looks like a real person getting pulled apart by like two horses or something, I'm just like, all right, man, I'm out of it.
And that's the thing
like,
about Faces of Death is that like to this day, it's like I'm sure some of them are fake, but then like you don't really know because it's just like so like shot on video exploitation type stuff, and it's like some of them might have been fakes, some of them might have been real. Like you just no one would really know at this point. Like it's just crazy.
Right. Like, there was a thing, I think like some years back where they came out like officially stating that any of the videos that had multiple angles were actually set up. And I don't know if there's any truth behind that. But when somebody mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, I can kind of see that, you know, cause like somebody like just so happens to come up and they have like 16 different angles of a guy getting pulled apart by horses. It's like, that's a little odd, you know, but so, I mean, that's really kind of my origin story in a sense of how I got into horror. So,
yeah, that's awesome. What were you going to say, Cody?
Yeah, those middle school friends, man, they'll mess you up. That's where I got like all the exposure for me. It's like my buddy, his birthday was on Halloween, so he would always every year he had a Halloween themed birthday party. And then there would be like 5 of us who got to spend the night, and I was always part of that lucky 5, which was great. Like the beginning part of the night, you felt like freaking VIP badass. Like, oh yeah, I brought my overnight bag with me. And then by 2 a.m., like 3 scary movies deep, and I was raised in a very sheltered Christian household. I was like, okay, call my mom. I'm ready to go. Is she still awake? This is awful. Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's very, very much the same way with me. I was brought up in an old school, like very reformed Christian home, and so like just seeing some of that stuff for the first time in general, I was just like, what the fuck did I get into? Like, this is too much, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, fun times for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, what would you say is maybe the scariest thing or maybe the most intense movie that you've ever seen?
Man. I mean, I can say recently, like something that comes to mind for sure is Hereditary.
Oh yeah.
And it's not to say so much that it's the scariest thing ever, but it was one of those things where like after you're done watching it, or after, at least I should say for myself, after I was done watching it, it just gave me this really odd feeling for like at least a couple of days after. Like that would just like stick with me, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what was it that was? It's just, I think it was just little certain things that were in it that just completely like embedded in me. But damn, the scariest. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cliche to say something like The Exorcist, because I mean, when you're young and you see those things, like that was a movie that I watched earlier on too. As far as I'd probably go with those two.
Yeah, no,
Nice.
That's good. I think what was kind of amazing for us, we watched Hereditary together, and what was amazing for us is that we knew enough about it to know that like, hey, this is sort of a kind of an artsier horror movie, and it's just a little different, but it's really good, and that's all we really knew going into it.
Yeah.
And I felt like so much of that film was unexpected.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say
right.
I'll jump in and say, like, we rewatched it recently.
We did.
And for me, like, remembering the first time I watched it, like, there's so much of it. It's almost like it's almost like living a traumatic event versus like actually understanding the timeline. Because like because there were parts of the first time we watched it where it felt like such a fast burn, and then but like slow parts. So like just I don't want to give any spoilers away, but just the sister's involvement actually isn't. It's very it's not real drawn out, and like I remember her being such a pivotal part, but rewatching is like, oh wow, that actually wasn't. I mean, it obviously was a major part of the movie, but like she wasn't in it as long as I remember.
Right.
Whereas like it felt like it kept hitting over and over, and then actually I realized like, oh, there are actually parts of this, because it kept throwing me off the first time. It felt like a fast burn, and like now it's actually kind of a slow burn, but it still left me. Which is so weird.
For sure.
It still left me with that weird feeling at the end, both times in a different way, but both times it just was like, man, I am uneasy.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah, for sure. I think, I think the favorite part with that movie was so many things nowadays are jump scares and are like loud sounds or shit that's just like popping in your face. Like the little subtle things, like toward the end, like when the sister was far dead and all of a sudden he's sitting there and he just hears that like pop noise.
Oh, pop.
It's just like, what the fuck, man? Like that's too much. Like just stop, just little stuff like that where it's like so simple, but it was like super effective,
Absolutely.
And the kind of the back and forth between the subtle, like the subtle creepy versus then like the really on the nose, like mom beating her head into the wall. Like there's just I don't know. We're starting to get into spoiler range now. So like
I know.
But like it's just
I don't want to ruin that for anybody, because it's definitely an experience. Like I think like you guys are the same with me, where I knew a little bit about it, but it wasn't so much that I knew like a ton what I was going into, and I think that kind of helped the whole overall experience for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, back whenever we first decided we were going to have you on the show, I asked you what some of your standout horror movies were, and I got one of them here, and we got some trivia. So, are you ready for some Maximum Overdrive trivia?
Ooh. I hope so. That's it's definitely one of my favorites for sure.
Let's go. I love Maximum Overdrive.
I was gonna ask you, have you seen that one?
Yes, I have it. It's one of those, man. So like one of the big players, and actually I haven't talked about him a whole lot on our show. A big player in my love for horror is my uncle. We used to visit him once a year, every summer in Colorado. He had a huge horror section, and like once the little cousins went to bed, the older cousins would stay up and watch scary movies. So that's where I saw The Shining. That's where I saw Case 39. This is where I saw Maximum Overdrive. Yes. And it's like, it's nice. even in that moment, like even as creepy as some of these moments can be, it's like, wow, this is what we're watching tonight. Like, I don't know, it's great, but it's kind of like Wishmaster. This is the same place where I first saw Wishmaster, and now like you can't tell me that doesn't belong somewhere on a 31-day October watch list. Like these movies in my mind they belong absolutely, but it's arguable. What I found is like
You love Wishmaster.
I love Wishmaster. But so like
Yeah,
probably
Wishmaster's a good movie.
yeah,
for sure.
so probably kind of along the same lines of where you are with Maximum Overdrive. Like yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just corny enough. Like, not everything in horror has to be like absolutely terrifying and everything. Like, some of it can be slapstick and
Yes.
comedies but they have certain moments where something might be like, ooh, that would suck. So yeah, I love that movie.
All right, so let's jump in. So the first one I think is a very, very easy gimme for you.
Ooh,
but we'll see.
right.
We'll see.
That's pressure.
We'll see. I tried to be really nice at the beginning, and then we get a little bit more weird towards the end. So the first one I have is, what Spider-Man villain is featured on the Happy Toys truck? Is it A, Hobgoblin, B, Venom, or C, the Green Goblin?
The Green Goblin.
That is correct.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Man, you had a little bit of a pause where I was like, Jesus, did I just get that fucking wrong?
Yes.
All right. Perfect.
No, you're
I
good,
was like,
you're
oh
good.
my God. Okay.
So
all right,
I'll
cool.
also add that I actually wrote these because I watched Maximum Overdrive because I hadn't seen it in so long that I didn't really remember any of them. So some of these trivia questions I literally were writing down as I was watching it because I was like, oh, that's so good. I have to say something about it.
Perfect. Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
that's where I got the next one. The next one is so the very beginning of the movie. Stephen King makes his cameo, which he does in a lot of his films, but this one is like right in the beginning. And he goes up to the ATM, and the words on the ATM change, and they insult him. Do they say, "You are corrupt," "You are an asshole," or "You are a dickhead"?
He tells his sugar plum wife to come over, and he says, "This machine just called me an asshole."
That's it.
Yeah, that's the line. That's the line. Oh man. Oh, one time I used that on my wife, and she didn't understand it. It's like I think I said it about the lawnmower or something. I was like, "Hey, this machine just called me an asshole." She's like, "What?"
Yeah, that's awesome. That
Don't worry
rules.
about it.
God, of course.
I've contemplated on forever getting a Maximum Overdrive tattoo and having it just be an ATM with like "You are an asshole" all across it. But
Yes.
I can't like bring myself to get swear words tattooed on me. So
Yeah.
we'll see. You never know. But
That's
that would
definitely
be great.
the art you got to show off at Thanksgiving, right? Like, hey, look, I got a new tattoo.
Right. My elderly Christian parents will absolutely love that.
Yes.
All right, so Stephen King originally wanted to cast a rock star for the lead role. Was it A, Bruce Springsteen, B, Axl Rose, or C, David Lee Roth?
Damn. I don't know this.
Yeah, I told you.
What were the choices again?
They get weird as we go along. So A is
That's
Bruce
cool.
Springsteen. B is Axl Rose, and C is David Lee Roth.
I'll go with A.
Bruce is the boss.
It's the boss, man. That was a great guess.
Oh, wow. Right.
Nailed it.
Very cool.
Yeah, I guess.
I could kind of see that. I feel like Axl Rose would be a little out of place.
Yeah.
The boss, I mean, he would absolutely. That would have been sweet.
It would have
Emilio
been
killed
sweet.
it, though. I'll give him that.
Well, and probably way overpriced, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
even at that point, like,
Yeah, right.
hey, what's the budget going
Right.
to be if Bruce Springsteen? Okay, yeah, let's. What about somebody who looks like Bruce Springsteen? Let's go with that guy.
Right.
Well, at the
Right.
time, his Bruce Springsteen's sister, Pamela Springsteen, was starring in the Sleepaway Camp movies. So maybe that's where.
Oh,
yeah,
no
yeah.
shit. Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's where Stephen King got the idea. I don't know.
Full
Maybe
circle.
maybe he was like, "Hey, your sister's in horror movies. Maybe I can get you to be in a horror movie." And he's like, "Nah, bro."
Yeah, no thanks. She said, "This is trucks coming alive. This is fucking stupid." No, thank you, sir.
It's an awful idea.
Yeah.
All right, number 4.
funny.
Moving forward, the trailer
All right.
for Maximum Overdrive. So the actual the movie trailer used a score from a different horror film. Was it A, Day of the Dead, B, Carrie, or C, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch?
Man, these are good.
You're welcome.
Yeah, these are good for sure. Okay, so it was Carrie, Halloween 3, and then what was the other one?
Day of the Dead.
Trying to think like year wise when these are released.
Yeah.
I'll go with Halloween 3.
Halloween 3!
Oh, how did you even pull that out?
Ooh,
Who guesses
nice.
that? Who's just? I'm gonna
Nice.
go with this really random score that's completely different than all the other Halloween
Uh-huh.
scores. That's awesome.
Well, that's why they
That's
got to
sweet.
use it for the trailer, because Halloween 3 everyone hated when it came out. Obviously, it's come back around
Right.
since then. I love that movie, but at the time, everybody hated it, so
Yeah.
like no one would recognize it, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure
true.
Stephen King probably was able to pick that up on the cheap.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, hey,
Yeah,
I
that's
could-
sweet.
I could get a composer to make me something new, or I can just use this really badass John Carpenter music that nobody knows because nobody watched
Nobody
that
saw
movie.
that movie. Or everybody who went walked out because Michael Myers never made an appearance. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's like actually that's the only Halloween steelbook I have right now. Like I've been collecting,
Oh, yeah.
slowly and surely. But Halloween 3, yeah, that movie fucking rules. I absolutely love that.
I
And
love it.
I did not know that about the trailer. I'm gonna have to go back and watch my
Oh, yeah,
crusty
dude.
old copy of Maximum Overdrive there, see if there's a trailer even on it.
Yeah, you can even pull it up on YouTube, and if you do, like, you'll hear it immediately. You'll be like, oh yeah, that's the Halloween 3 music. Like, it's that like super
Oh, okay. Weird.
super kind of digital, because Halloween 3 opens, that little title sequence has like the computer with like it's making like a little
right.
jack-o'-lantern like in
Yeah.
Eek Speak or whatever, like, and it has this really digital sounding pulsating soundtrack, and as soon as you start the Maximum Overdrive trailer, you hear that exact same music.
It's crazy.
Oh, okay. Nice. Damn. I mean, it's really cool. I don't know if I ever even picked up on that. I mean, I'm sure at some point I watched the trailer, but I didn't realize that. That's sweet. So
Yeah, pretty cool.
I am loving learning shit about this movie. That's sweet.
All right, so number 5.
All right, I'm
number
ready.
5, we
Mhm.
have, what was the title of the short story that the film is based on? Was it A, Trucks, B, Night of the Comet, or C, was it just Maximum Overdrive?
Is it Night of the Comet?
Oh, that was my super misleading answer that I threw in there. It was Trucks.
No.
Really?
Trucks.
It's just called
Because
Trucks.
they have a movie called Trucks that's based on a short story of his too. I saw it.
Yikes.
I think you're right.
Also, don't be confused with the Disney movie Cars, which went a different direction. Oh my
Right,
gosh.
right.
I don't know. Have you seen that fan theory
That's
about how
funny.
like the cars are actually like humans
Oh,
inside?
yeah.
That's pretty fucked up
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true. That's true. That's a good point.
That's funny. No, I have not, but that's a good way to look at it. Maybe the next time when one of my kids want me to watch it, I'll be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Oh, dude,
absolutely.
look it
Get a
up.
new little angle on it.
Oh yeah, people
Huh,
have made
weird.
little
Okay.
diagrams about like how this works. It's almost like a human centipede kind of thing. Like there's a human inside the machine, and yeah, it's interesting.
shit.
It's
Okay.
interesting. Okay, I
Weird.
actually have a bonus one for you. I never do 6 questions.
Never do 6 questions.
But I have a bonus
Ooh,
one for you.
Okay, I love it.
Drum roll,
I'm
please.
ready.
In what short story collection was Trucks published in? Was it A, Stephen King's Nightmares and Dreamscapes, B, Night Shift, or C, Skeleton Crew? That's why it's a bonus, because it's actually about the book and not
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah, right. And I have 2 of them, and I'm gonna be so embarrassed. I'm sitting here like, I'm gonna go with C, Skeleton Crew.
That is a great guess, because I believe
Damn
that Nightmare and Dreamscapes and Skeleton Crew are probably the most popular short story collections
Right.
of his. And it's this one called Night Shift.
The B?
I worked at a bookstore,
Yeah, okay.
and I've never heard of Night Shift.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I have. I was gonna say I don't have that one. I have Nightmares and Dreamscapes, and then I have Skeleton Crew.
Yep.
Damn it!
That's all right.
All right.
That's okay. You
Well,
did damn
That was,
good.
yeah. We'll give you a standing
Oh,
on that
thank
one.
you, thank you. I
Absolutely.
am very proud of you guys. That was great questions there. I love it.
Yeah,
That's
man.
sweet.
That's awesome. Okay, well, we always give people sort of some time at the end to kind of tell people about their stuff. We know that you are in a band. Obviously, you have a cool Instagram account, which we'll also include in the show notes and all that stuff. But like, if you want to tell everybody a little bit about the music you make and name of your band and kind of what you guys do, that's this is your time. You've earned it.
Sure. Sweet. I play drums. I am in a band called Prison Suicide. We're based out of West Michigan. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, all that, iTunes, Spotify, so on and so forth, Bandcamp, all that different stuff. We're playing shows primarily Michigan, but we travel out of state. We played in Canada and New York this last November, and just do different things here and there. But it's kind of like a hardcore punk, type of theme there as far as music wise. We're working on writing some new stuff right now. We've been playing a couple of festivals this summer, slowing down on that so we can get some stuff recorded and then hopefully possibly have an album or a 7-inch of some sort out maybe this next year. And then my Instagram page right now, I've got a actual Stephen King themed giveaway going on right now.
Let's go.
Ends September 27th. Yeah, I just announced the last thing today. I picked up this really random thing that I saw on eBay, but it was like a 5-pack that's like Cujo, Langoliers, Golden Years, and then The Stand, I think. But it was cool because it's like all 5 just single case DVDs. It's not like the bullshit you get at Walmart where it's like one disc with some generic art that has nothing to do with the movie whatsoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got that. And then one of my favorite books from Stephen King's a book called Joyland, based out of an amusement park. So I did a painting like a couple of years back based on that. So that's going to be in the giveaway, and then the book's going to be in the giveaway and a couple of prints. And so that's kind of what I have going on band-wise, and on my page, just doing different stuff like that. I think probably in the next couple of months, I'm going to be doing another giveaway too. So be on the lookout for that. And there's the only other plug I guess I would give is I want to give a shout out to a company called Fright Vision Books. I found them on Instagram. It's kind of like a teenage, middle school type age, like Goosebumps almost
cool.
A book company. And I bought one of the books, I don't know, some months back for my boy, and he absolutely loves it. And so I've been trying to pick up more of those, and they've got like 6 sales going on all the time on Amazon. And so it's just something, to see like more originality and, still fun things going on like that, other than just some of the bull that you see all the time. So
yeah,
let's go, man. That sounds awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all the time that I'm going to take for that, fellas.
Beautiful. Okay, well, real quick, I'm going to step in. I know we're trying to wrap up, but I have a signature question that I would be amiss if I did not ask. So, if you could wipe off one movie from all movie shelves, if you could completely eliminate it from all movie viewing experience, what would this horror movie be?
Damn.
I know. It's the one that nobody's ever prepared for, but I like the knee-jerk reaction. We've had
some amazing answers to this question.
Yeah, and some are just like, hey, you know what? I'm tired of Halloween. Like, take that out of here. Or like Halloween 4. Like everybody's seen. But so I don't want to give you too many.
Yeah, it could be a single film or a franchise,
or it could be a franchise. Yeah, if you're just like, you know what?
My answer is Paranormal Activity.
Yeah,
just as an example.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the whole jump scare thing is absolutely terrible. That could be there. I don't know. I mean, like certain, I guess things that come to mind first is like Children of the Corn and Hellraiser.
Oh,
like
no!
Hellbound was really good. The second Hellraiser.
You had me at Children of the Corn, because if you watch that movie, it does not stand up to the test of time. It completely could be re-envisioned. It had to have been a shit movie when it came out. Like somebody went to the theater and they were like, "What is this garbage? What are these little Amish kids doing everywhere? Like this is awful." But then Hellraiser is like one of those franchises, man. It's so close to my heart.
Cody loves Hellraiser, no matter how shitty it gets.
You zigged so hard that you sagged. No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because, like, I look at my collection and I have Hellraiser 1, Hellbound, and then I think it's, like, fucking part 7. I don't even know what one it is. I don't remember. It's just, like, I watched it at one point. I couldn't tell you one thing about it, and I'll probably never pop it in again. But, no, I think my official answer, now that I'm thinking about this, and it's going to go a little beyond the movie because it's not just the movie, I would say official answer would be Human Centipede.
Yes.
And here is where I go with this. So my thing with that is like, I think I came out like around 2009 or 2010.
Yep.
Sounds right.
Yep.
And it's just like what I'm envisioning is I feel like around that time, horror movies were kind of becoming this thing where it's like, how far can I fucking push this?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And as opposed to, because like, I don't think that things have to go like to the extent that they do to be effective. So like, for instance, like the first thing that comes to mind is like this movie called A Serbian Film. I've never seen it, and
Yeah,
I have.
I've never
Have you
seen
guys
it.
ever heard of it?
I've heard of it. I've
No.
never
Have
seen
you ever
it.
heard of it?
I have heard of it.
Okay, so I mean, I'm not even really going to talk about it because I don't want to even shine light on it. But there's just like certain things that I've heard about it that happen in the movie that I'm like, there's absolutely no need for somebody to sit down and write a script and be like, you know what? I think I need this in my movie. It's just going to push the boundaries a little bit. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
sure, I can understand. Like, there's extents that you can do that, but when it comes to certain shit, I'm just like, there's just no need for it whatsoever. So
Yep.
I would say that. And then like Human Centipede 2, that movie was just really fucking creepy. That fat dude with the glasses was absolutely like just disgusting. So I would say officially Human Centipede. That whole franchise there could
I love it.
burn right now.
That's an incredible answer.
That's a good question.
Because I feel the same about horror. I feel like especially so again, if you're not aware, my favorite, like my anchor, my centerpiece, my everything that I kind of rate against is Halloween, which is the quintessential less is more, right? Like we have 6 kills in the original. We have mostly just this idea of him, not even necessarily seeing a lot of him on screen, and just the idea that he's still out there. Like it's such a less is more example, and then you get something like Hostel, like Human Centipede, where it's just it is over the top. How much can I shock you and really just make you question why are you even putting this in your mind right now? Like are you just are you just challenging yourself that you can handle this? Like it's such a waste. It's such a waste of mind space.
Right.
It's such a waste in my mind. Like that is one of those we talk about sub kind of genres of horror. And like just cut that limb off. Like let it float out there.
Right.
I don't need to see it.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great answer.
And I
Great
can
answer.
say too, like thinking about that genre too. Like there's a movie. Have you ever heard of a movie called Martyrs? Like the original one. There was a remake that came out.
heard
a couple
of
years back,
it.
but
It's been on our list for a while of like, hey, people say this is good. We should probably watch it eventually, and I keep finding every excuse not to watch it.
I absolutely would. But
All right.
I guess the contradictory of my answer would be it kind of falls into that where it's like it definitely pushes boundaries and it's definitely uncomfortable. But that movie is like kind of one of those things where it's like really fucked up, but it's like, yeah, I'm glad that I watched that. That movie's sweet. The original one though, there's a remake that came out a few years ago that was like
the French
an American
one, right?
remake, and
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Yep.
And then like Lars von Trier, he did Antichrist and like the house that Jack built. I feel like he kind of falls into that stuff too, where you just kind of sit sometimes and it's like, I don't know why the fuck I'm putting this in my mind, kind of like you guys said.
Yeah.
So, but
I mean,
and that's a great answer. That was a great question. I mean,
in all fairness, we haven't done any kind of review or anything on Ari Aster's second movie. We already talked about Hereditary, but on Midsummer. But I think there were at times when I was watching Midsummer where I at least had the thought of, why the fuck am I putting this into my brain?
Yeah.
In a different way, but it was still there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can see that. I can
Yeah.
see that. I mean, I think like too with that, like I don't know. I like Ari Aster, so all I'm gonna do is start making excuses for why like I made certain things acceptable, But that was another movie too, where like literally it was probably 2 weeks after there would just be moments where I'd be at work or I'd be at home doing something.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like just certain shit would pop in my head, and I'm like, God damn, this movie will not leave me alone. Like, I'll definitely be buying that for sure when it comes out. So,
see, again, we haven't reviewed it, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But like, I liked it,
Right.
but I almost have this like, I don't know if I ever want to see it again, and that's a weird thing to say about a movie that you liked, but that's just that's almost how I feel about it. Like I liked it; it was a very great experience in the theater, and then I'm like, I don't know if I ever want to watch it again because it's just really fucked up in different ways, and like I just don't know if I want to
Right.
expose myself to it again.
I think the only sales system I would have is like go on Reddit and see some of the Easter eggs that people like picked up on watching it. Because I went home and I went and watched it, and then it was the same thing with Hereditary. Like Hereditary, I watched that movie and then I looked up online because I'm like, what the hell does this mean? What does this mean? And I start reading into certain things and I go back and I look like the whole part where let's just say the sister dies. We'll say that part.
Sure.
The logo of that family, like the pendulum that she wears around her neck or whatever, is actually on that light post.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that you don't notice right away, you know, and it's like, oh shit, that's deep as fuck, you know? Like, so there's a lot of things with Midsummer too. Like I feel like movies that are coming out recently, like Midsummer or Hereditary or even like Get Out and Us, I feel like those movies are just ruining horror for me. Cause like I'll go back and watch them 5 times and see different shit every time and be like, oh my God, this movie is even cooler now. Like, you know, so
that's true. And a lot of times like you can see those things and like, maybe it was meant to be just like a sprinkling Easter egg, like by the director trying to be clever. But if it's not that, you can find so much deeper meaning. So, I mean, as an example, that little cult symbol on that light post, that means something in Hereditary was even more premeditated than we thought it was. Yeah. And like that makes the whole thing that much scarier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I get it.
Absolutely.
I get it.
Yep.
All right. We could I love getting people on that are just really easy to talk to. Not that we've ever had anyone that's really hard to talk to.
Yeah.
But when I have people on that are easy to talk to, I always got to like keep looking at the clock here. So we're definitely we're definitely needing to wrap up on time. Eric, it was really, really awesome to have you. I'm so glad that we can make it work. You're a really awesome guy, and man, we would love to just stay in touch, maybe have you on again sometime.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I've been dying to be on, so I'm super appreciative of you guys having me on, and anytime, I mean, let me know and we'll figure out something again.
Yeah. Hey man, correct me if I'm wrong, but we were the kind of the first podcast that you really listened to, right?
This is my buddy. I can say, okay, my guitarist in my band, he has a podcast that's like, it's called Basagum. It's bullshit old guy metal.
Okay.
And so I like listen to that a couple of times, but I will say that you guys, and this is honestly, like, it's not a plug or anything like that. I'm not going to take to say it, but like you guys' show was like the first thing that I really like follow. Like I wait for episodes to pop up on my phone and shit. Like, it's super cool. I absolutely love it. And I'm really bummed out, if I can say, because I try to go back like really far to listen to episodes and the shit's not on there anymore. So I'm like,
I'm working on that.
No more. But
we change hosts. I gotta re-upload everything one by hand. It's a huge pain in the ass, but I'm working on it.
No. It's cool. Yeah, it's great. It's really cool. I mean, honestly, like the whole like family thing, even on Instagram, and then like you know, having just a difference of listening to the radio and hearing people talking about horror and hear people talking about shit that, you know, I care about, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know that. That's cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
know this shit too, you know. Cool. So yeah, absolutely. Thumbs up to you guys for sure.
All right, man. I really appreciate it. Hey, have a great night, and like I said, stay in touch. We'd love to have you on again.
Absolutely. You guys too. Good night.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Boom.
Do you want to say it?
Let's get Eeky.
Oh, normally that's where Danny says, he was nice.
Oh, yeah, shoot. That's right. He's nice.
He's so nice.
Man, yeah. I feel like, you know, just you get those personalities that, like, naturally feel like they're sitting in the room with you.
Oh, yeah.
And as this guy.
I think that it's amazing how many of those that we've had.
Are there, yeah.
And it's like the beauty of the internet that,
Absolutely.
like, we could do this show. Because, like, if we were trying to do this show just locally, like, sure, I'm sure there's some, but, like, how easy it's been to get people who like the same kind of stuff that we like, and it's easy for us to talk about it, even if we disagree on Hellraiser. We can still have a fun conversation about it, just like if you were at the bar talking with your friends about horror movies.
Absolutely.
Or about something else. You're talking about music or whatever. That just happens to be what our show's about. But Yeah, I think it's cool.
great.
So I don't have a lot of horror news, which is good because
We went a little long.
yeah, we went a little long, and that's totally cool, and that's great because the only horror news that I have for this week is that Josh Hasty's Candy Corn
No.
is finally getting its Blu-ray release
Oh, let's go.
this week. So it's been available for pre-order. I think it comes out tomorrow,
That's what's up.
if I'm not mistaken. If it's not tomorrow, maybe it's like Friday or Thursday or something weird. But I think they've already started doing a limited theater release. I don't think anybody close to us is going to have it,
Yeah.
which sucks, but it is what it is. So for those of you that don't know, I got to watch Candy Corn at Horror Hound Weekend in Cincinnati, and I really, really liked it. And I've been really excited for it to come out this Halloween season. So
They kind of missed it, like by 1 week, right? Like, couldn't they have done it Friday the 13th? I mean, like,
yeah, I know. Right?
it's whatever. It's whatever.
There was actually the movie that we are watching tonight for Spoiler Vision came out on Friday.
Boom. Let's go.
So I guess
Love it.
maybe they had some other people
Yeah,
who were already
I
kind of messing around with that date. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Low hanging fruit. It's the peons like me who think of that stuff, and like somebody said,
wouldn't it be cool if
yeah, somebody,
remember that?
Somebody was sitting in a room like, we cannot do it on that date because we're gonna get all the noobs who are gonna say like that's a great idea, and it's not. That's me. That's fine.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode. Don't forget, Eek Speak is our online horror talk show, and you are invited to the party. We record live on YouTube Monday nights at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'd love for you to join us and be a part of the audience and chat. And Cody, a party just isn't a party without
Ice cream.
ice cream and guests.
Oh yeah.
We need them to. If it's just me and you eating ice cream,
Yeah.
it's not much of a party.
Oh, that's a party. If it's just me and you, I'll probably take my shirt off. Then it's a party.
It's a party. So yeah, we would love to have guests on the show. If you'd like to be a guest, just like Eric was today, all you have to do is reach out to us on Instagram at Eek Channel. That is EEKCHANNEL. You can also email us at hello@eekchannel.com. Let me say it again because I stumbled. hello@eekchannel.com. I wanted to throw Gmail in there for some reason, and there's no Gmail involved.
No G.
So yeah, you can email us there. You can also just go to eekchannel.com, click the Be a Guest link in the upper right-hand corner, and hook up with us that way. If you would like to support the show, you can rate, review, comment, like, subscribe, enable notifications, do all the internet things that people do. If you don't want to do any of that, you can really just tell a friend. Telling a friend is the easiest way to support the show and just help raise awareness and just kind of spread the word, spread the good news of the old Eek channel. You know what I mean?
Just let them know. Just let them know where you're, what you're listening to these days.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. All right, well, thank you so much for listening.